Support of her amendment.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Let's get to our second point of business here and break down this myth that oil companies need even more permits. This is simply not true. Though, in fact, the oil industry already possesses more than 9,000 unused drilling permits on federal lands. Nearly 5,000 of those permits were approved in 2021 alone. The oil industry already has at least 10 years worth of unused leases at its disposal. They are only producing oil or gas on roughly half the area that is already leased. And there are nearly 14 million acres onshore and more than 9 million acres offshore that are currently under lease but are not being used for oil production. Why lease even more? My amendment prohibits oil and gas leasing on federal lands in a way that would increase even further our net carbon emissions. That is to say, we shall not include any federal lands where oil and gas leasing would increase net carbon emissions. I urge the adoption of the amendment and yield back.
Gentlelady from New York yields back. For what purpose does the gentleman from South Carolina seek recognition?
Mr. Chair, I rise in opposition to this amendment.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes in opposition to the amendment.
Let me state again that H.R. 21 is about strengthening the SPR by requiring non-emergency use to be accompanied by a plan to produce American oil resources. You know, I invite the members across the aisle to actually go out and talk to oil and gas producers, understand leases, understand that every square acre out in the ocean or on land doesn't have oil or gas under it. They've got to find it. They've got to start drilling, exploring, producing. And once they produce, they've got to pipe that either to the beach or put it on a ship to be taken to refineries. They have permitting process for pipelines that do that. Permitting processes to get the well actually permitted once they discover resources. Go and learn. Go and learn for yourself about this. Educate yourself on how America attained its low emissions. If you care about the air quality, you care about climate change. Natural gas is what got America there. Educate yourself on that. Then we can have a better debate about future resources, future energy production. But this debate tonight is not about any of that. It's about the SPR. It's about the fact that the Biden administration drew down on the SPR for one purpose, to lower gas prices for Americans right before an election. That's influential politics. This is about efficient, clean American energy production. Efforts to reduce our production means the world relies more on nations that do not impose state-of-the-art controls on emissions. Think Russia, think China. Think about what America has done. This amendment would limit clean energy, American-produced clean energy, and increase emissions-heavy foreign energy. You know, it hurts me when I see an American LNG tanker in the Boston Harbor when we have a natural gas here in this country, cleaner burning natural gas. This is about the SPR. As chair of the Energy Subcommittee, I look forward to a lot of debates on energy resources, American energy production, and clean energy, and what works to make America energy dominant once again. But we're not doing it tonight. We're going to talk about the spore. We're going to talk about replenishing it. We're going to talk about American resources. It's counterproductive to energy security, this amendment is, and addressing climate risk. American oil production is the cleanest in the world, where it's produced and where it's used. So I urge my colleagues to vote no on this amendment. I yield back.
Gentleman yields.